It's about that time of year to start seeds indoors. So maybe you've never done it before indoors, or maybe you've done it and you're just interested in the way I do my process. Let's start out with hardware. So what are you going to need as far as hardware for indoor starting of seeds? Well, you need a light source, and if you don't have a perfect south-facing window with full sun all day long, you're probably going to need some kind of grow light. So here's one that I use. This is called the HLG 65. It's a very light unit. Maybe it's a 1 foot square. It's definitely under 2 pounds. This one's $100, and this will get you a 2x2 area. It is money well spent. You can grow 2 flats of seeds underneath it. If you want to upgrade a little bit and you have a larger sized garden, you need more sprouts growing indoors, then maybe get one that's a little bit larger. Here's the 100-watt version. Bumps you up to $150. Besides that, you need to keep these little plants warm. So I like to use a nice little space heater. This is the exact one that I have. It's $34 on Amazon, and I just keep it on the low setting, and I keep the seedlings about 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. I find they like it warm, especially the pepper and tomato seeds. I have my seeds up on a table, and then this thing sits kind of under the table, and I have it set just to get the heat nice up to the roots, basically. It heats up the bottom of the containers and gets the room nice and warm. Wind source, or maybe I should more accurately say breeze source, because I keep an oscillating fan, just a cheap one. And I find them from Walmart. They are the cheapest source of getting an oscillating fan. This one's under 20 bucks. Just get a nice cheap one, keep it on the low setting, and have it oscillate back and forth. What you're looking for is to have those little seedlings just shaking a little bit in the breeze, right? As long as they kind of vibrate a little bit, you're good. You don't want them flapping around too hard, or that might be too much stress. So keep the fan far enough away, and then just put it on the low setting and have it oscillate back and forth. The seedlings are going to grow a lot stronger and a lot more sturdy. If you don't have a nice little room that you can keep, 80 to 82 degrees, you might have to get some kind of grow tent. So here's one that I found on Amazon. You can buy something like this. This is just under $100, but if you don't want to make that commitment and you can pretty much wall off some kind of area, go for it. I like to use plastic sheeting sometimes and build myself a little room inside of a room. If you have a spare bedroom or something like that, or a closet, go ahead and set everything up inside there. But if you need something to keep the heat in, you might be able to go with one of these grow tents. If you want to get really fancy with temperature control, I use these all the time. I use these for home brewing, actually, and then I usually use it to start seeds too. I will plug the heater into this temperature controller, and it keeps it perfect for me. I can set it at 80 to 82 degrees and it always stays there. I find that little plants like that consistency. Let's move on to the software. We need some potting soil. So here's one that I found online. This is from a company called Build a Soil. And this one is a nice kind of lightly charged soil. It has decent nutrients for smaller plants, but it's not so strong that it's going to hurt them. And so the mix, it's nice and light, and Build a Soil provides a little sheet that actually tells you what exactly is in there. They have a saturated paste test done on this, which is, if you're into that sort of thing, soil testing, it's kind of a nice feature. And, I don't see other companies posting their soil test data. So this is great. And it says all vegan inputs. So you're getting some nice compost, you're getting worm castings in here, and it's a really premium kind of soil. But if you don't want to order one online, this is 13 bucks for a half cubic foot, which is about 3¼ gallons, if I'm correct. That'll grow a lot of seedlings for you. If you just want to go to your local big box store, go ahead, go to Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever you have, and get a nice potting soil or potting mix. If you look at the ingredients, the first ingredient will probably be sphagnum peat moss, and that is a perfect medium to grow in. Go ahead and do that if you don't want to order anything special. Optional, containers. So let's start talking about these containers. What am I going to need as far as containers for plants? You don't need special ones, right? If you look in anybody's recycling bin, you could probably find enough material to use as plant pots. So even if you have things like party cups, just like the really thin ones, let's go ahead and poke some holes in the bottom, and you can grow plants directly in there. Used takeout, like the food takeout containers, those make great little containers to grow plants in. Plants don't mind. So grow in anything. Just make sure you have drainage holes. I'll show you what I use in case you want to go kind of like a more premium route. These are called 10-20 trays, and they're actually about 11 inches by 21 inches in size. I go with the ones without holes in them, and these are kind of just little flats, and you put your plants inside there so that when you water it, this thing catches the water real nice. So you can fit a bunch of plants in there. How many can you fit? Initially, I like to use these guys here. These are called inserts. And what is there here? So there's like, 36, I think, come in these deep inserts. You can kind of choose here what size you're going to go after. So this will hold either tomato or pepper seedlings for a pretty long time. You could probably leave them in here for about 5 or 6 weeks even. So deep inserts, perfect for the first couple weeks of plant growth, but then you want to pot up. So in potting up, you're going to use a slightly larger pot. I actually have these specific ones here. These are 4.5 inches wide, and these are deep. I think they're like 5 inches deep. So these guys are nice and sturdy, and I feel like you can fit maybe like 16 of these go in every 10-20 tray. These are great, and all these things that I've been showing you as far as container options are concerned, you can use them year after year. I don't clean my pots. I just transplant and save them for next time, put them in the corner, and I've been using the same containers and flats for like probably the last 8 years. Yeah, definitely a good investment. Don't throw them out afterwards. Okay, watering. You can get yourself a nice watering can. I use just a plastic water bottle, like a drinking water bottle, and I put my thumb over like the lid there, and I just kind of invert the bottle and just really gently kind of pour water on those seedlings. When they're very young, you want to make sure not to like dislodge them from the soil. So just be gentle with them. Use anything to water it. Okay, optional, worm castings. This is like the magic bullet. I keep like a little bag of worm castings hanging out just in case the plants start to look like they're a little hungry. Maybe they're kind of yellowing out a little bit. They need some nutrients, or they're just kind of small and spindly. Plop about a teaspoon of worm castings on each plant, and it is like the magic bullet. They're going to start loving it. There's fungi and bacteria, and you can read whole books about how worms are just like little fertilizer factories. So keep this around, right? This is only $20. This is a 2-gallon container. That's going to last you quite a long time. Where do you get seeds from? That's the next section. So right here, Tradewinds Fruit. I've been ordering from them for probably the last 12 years. They have awesome selections of tomatoes, peppers, herbs, everything else you can grow in the garden. I've always had great results with them, and they have reasonable prices. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent on that website looking around, trying to decide what I'm going to grow. Next one here, True Leaf Market. I've recently started ordering from them, and they have a nice selection of a lot of interesting things. Looks like they're selling tobacco plants down here, or tobacco seeds, which is cool. They have like little kits that you can get. They have like seed kits with a lot of different ones kind of packaged together. They have cover crop seeds too. Those are cool. So if you want to grow something like alfalfa, like farmers usually grow alfalfa, or different cover crops like hairy vetch, you can order them and just kind of play around with them too. It's kind of fun to grow different things. If you're into really hot peppers, check out Pepper Joe's. Pepper Joe's sells really hot Carolina Reapers. They sell ghost peppers and such. And wow, you can get some wicked hot peppers in the garden. So when should you start your seeds indoors? That's the next question. Okay, well first you have to determine your outdoor planting date, and that is when the outdoor temperature is above 40 degrees during the night. Obviously, you don't want it to drop below freezing for most plant species for the garden, so check out your so I use Weather Underground. I just go online, enter my area, and I look at historical data. So I'll go to last year, and I'll look at April, May, June, and I'll see what was the low. Low temperature for that month, right? So if I notice that maybe the second week of May for the last couple years, it was pretty warm, then I will kind of get a sense of when it's safe to plant. So I'm going to go second week of May in my area, and I'm in Pennsylvania. So depending on you, that could be anytime. If you're in somewhere like Phoenix, Arizona, I was looking at that, it's pretty safe the first week of March, so you can get plants in the ground much earlier. Okay, so that's your outdoor planting date. 8 weeks before that, start your small seeds, and then 4 weeks before your outdoor planting date, plant your big seeds. Okay, so what are those? Okay, small seeds. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumber, eggplant. They have a tiny seed, and it takes the plant a long time to get going, to be a larger size seedling so you can put it in the ground. So start them earlier. Okay, there's not a lot of energy in those little seeds. Big seeds are like really fast growing. So beans, squash, zucchini, pumpkin, things like that. The seed is huge. It contains a lot of energy for that plant to start growing really quick. So either 4 weeks before your outdoor planting date, or you can just wait till you can direct sow in the ground, especially for things like zucchini or beans that really take off and they're quick to harvest. Hardening off. You want to take your plants outdoors sometimes in the fresh air when it's sunny and breezy outside and the temperature is pretty high. So before your outdoor planting date, get them out there, get them used to being outside. That's going to help them survive. So how do you plant them? Dig a hole. The same size of your pot plus about 1 inch. And then, kind of gently massage the outside of the container, separate the roots from the container. I invert it then. I'll kind of hold the plant in place and I'll kind of slide the pot off the plant and then plop it down right in the hole and then cover it with native soil. And if you want to really protect yourself against failure, you take some worm castings and just put it around on the surface. Maybe just like a few tablespoons per plant, and your plants will thank you for it. If there's a frost warning near you, right, you've already planted outside and there's a danger of frost, cover up the plants with something. Get buckets. I've heard of people doing that. Put a shopping bag around it, plastic sheeting. Some garden centers sell ground cloth you can put over them. Whatever you can do to save it. And bonus content, my favorite plants to grow in the garden, the absolute best, in my opinion, tomato to grow is called the Sun Gold, or also known as the Sun Sugar cherry tomato. And from what I understand, one of these is a kind of like an heirloom, and the other one's maybe some kind of hybrid, but I can't tell the difference. These are amazing. They have great sweetness, great tomato flavor, and the plants are strong. They bear pretty heavily, and I was always happy with them. Next thing, purple jalapeno, right? Since you're growing your own garden, why grow anything normal, especially any normal color, right? The benefit of growing the garden is that you can let your jalapenos actually go to ripeness. The ones that you see in the store that are green, if those were grown a few extra weeks, they would be red. I don't know why they don't sell us red ones in the store. Like you can see one here. It's a nice red one. And a lot of these turn out to be almost black. They are really beautiful peppers. Last thing here, no, second to last thing, New Mex Twilight, University of New Mexico, I believe it is. They have their own breeding program for chilies, and these make really beautiful plants. I see these for sale at the supermarket next to like the flowers in the summer. They sell little pots, and these are beautiful pepper plants. They grow tons of tiny, tiny little peppers, and they're all different colors, and they stick straight up out of the plant, just like little flower buds. And they are awesome to grow, just from kind of like a beauty standpoint. Last one here, purple tomatillo, right? These are really cool to grow. They're fun. They're just a fun color, right? And you know what they say, variety is the spice of life. So it's your garden. Get wacky if you want. Grow purple tomatoes. Grow any kind of tomato, and just get excited about it. So that's it for now. If you guys and gals have any questions or comments, put it in the comments section. I will get back to you. If you do things differently, if you have any special tips that you like to do, like I do worm castings, if you have a tip like that, throw it in the comments so that we can all talk about it. All right, I will see you there in the comments section. Have a nice day.